When you think of France, what comes to mind? Maybe it's baguettes or the Eiffel Tower, but there's a lot more to this country than just that. Welcome to Geography with Drew Binsky. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything you need to know about France, from wacky facts to wild travel stories. Let's get started.
Geography with Drew Binsky.
France is located in Western Europe and it borders Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Monaco, Andorra, and Spain. Wow, that's a lot of countries. France is just smaller than Texas, but it has more than double the population. That's right, 67 million people call France their home. Most locals there speak French, but English, Spanish, and German are also common around the country. Some of the most populated cities include Paris, Lyon, and Marseille. The French national flag has a red, white, and blue of its own. The patriotic colors are lined up in 3 vertical stripes. Like many of its neighbors, France's currency is the euro, which is worth just over $1. From creamy cheeses to buttery croissants, get ready to try the finest food around. You cannot go wrong with any restaurant in France. It is all amazing. And speaking of food, did you know that the French eat over 25,000 tons of snails each year? Yes, this dish is called escargot and it's seasoned with butter and herbs. For dessert, you can't go wrong with a sweet crepe filled with fruit and cream, or better yet, Nutella. Lots of Nutella, which is basically like a hazelnut chocolate, and the French people put it on everything. Now that you know the basics, it's time for some fun facts. Believe it or not, one man was the French king for just 20 minutes. After serving the shortest reign of all time, he finally gave up on his title. France is a very special place, so it's no surprise that millions of people visit the #1 tourist destination on Earth. Yes, that's right, more people visit France than any other country in the world.
Bienvenue en France, welcome to France.
Second place is Thailand. Did you know that camouflage was invented in France? The pattern made its debut on the front lines during World War I. Believe it or not, you would not find French fries on the menu for part of the 18th century. Back then, the French thought that potatoes caused lots of health problems. Yikes. In the United States, our national bird is the bald eagle, but in France, it's the rooster. If you're looking for a quick book to read during summer break, then be careful of the book called Remembrance of Things Past. Why? Because it's over 4,000 pages long, which makes it the world's longest novel. Now we're going to hear about a travel story from Paris. So my first time to Paris was about 5 years ago. It's a huge city. There's so much to do, so much to see. I walked about 20 miles in one day, which is one of my all-time records. It's basically walking from 8 in the morning until 8 at night, exploring as much as you can do. The highlights of Paris were seeing the Eiffel Tower, which is just absolutely amazing. You've seen it all over the history books and you've watched it in movies, and you can't imagine what it's like in real life, but there it is, an absolutely beautiful building. Then another place that I love in Paris is the Louvre, which is the largest art museum in the world. There's a beautiful little city square there with a pointed building, and you walk around the museums and they're just absolutely stunning, like art from centuries and centuries ago from the most famous artists in the world, and they're so detailed and so incredible. It's really, really amazing. There's a walking street in Paris called the Champs-Élysées, but it's probably the most famous walking street in the world. You have every kind of store, shopping malls, designer clothes, restaurants, cafes, and at the end of the street is the famous Arc de Triomphe, which is a beautiful arch that kind of looks like this, and it's in the middle of a huge intersection, so there's cars driving around it, and it's absolutely beautiful. Then you have the Palace of Versailles, which is a little bit outside of Paris. When you arrive, you enter this like amazing palace with all these beautiful architecture and designs on the floor, and these beautiful tiles and sculptures, and just the history of how this place was built many hundred years ago is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's so cool. Oh, the Church of Notre Dame. It's one of the most famous churches in the world, a beautiful landmark. It actually was caught on fire a couple years ago, if you can remember it. A lot of it was destroyed, but then it was, some of it has been rebuilt, and it is now just absolutely stunning. And so walking around Paris, you'll never get bored. There's so many things to do. Ride the metro, eat the food, eat some baguettes, eat some croissants. It's a magical place. I really hope to go back there, and if there's any takeaway from this video, I hope you get to visit France. It's a beautiful country, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Geography with Drew Binsky. Bye-bye.